Hey, it's David Edgerton, Texas real estate broker. As we're winding down 2022 and interest rates now up to 7% on a 30-year fixed mortgage, what I'm interested in finding out is when it comes to affordability, how does this really impact one's monthly payment? And overall, how much does someone need to make in order to afford the home? And on the flip side, I wanted to understand how much home prices need to fall in order to get back to the same affordability that we had when we had low interest rates, like at 3% just earlier this year. I think you're going to be shocked at my data. So let's get into the presentation right now. Home buying affordability comparison, how interest rates affect affordability. Looking at the first half of 2019, pre-COVID, we were in a mid 4% interest rate for most of that time. The second half of 2019, rates were still trending down and getting to the low fours, upper threes. The COVID years of 2020 and 2021, we had artificially low stimulus, which pushed rates down into the low threes for most of these 2 years. And in fact, in some cases, even under 3% on a 30-year mortgage, which is almost like free money. But 2022 has been a volatile year, starting in the low 3% range, where the market was still really hot, but then things started to slow down as the year progressed. And on June 1st, all throughout the country, many people feel June 1st is when the market slammed on the brakes and there was a big pause. That's when rates began to increase dramatically. And as you can see, they've shot up to 7%. This is all over a 10-month period. So rising rates has led to less affordable purchasing power. As we compare a 3% to a 7% interest rate on a average home price of 400,000, we're going to take a 20% down payment plus an average of 2% closing cost. That's going to leave a home buyer with a mortgage payment comparison of $1,350 a month of just principal and interest. We're not calculating insurance or taxes versus 7% at $2,130 per month. This is an increase of 58% on someone's monthly payment. If you think about why this affects affordability, you're going to need to make substantially more money in order to afford that. Whereas if you assume that someone's principal and interest payment is 20% of one's annual income, someone making 81,000 a year could afford this 3% mortgage payment versus what would be required to stay in proportion at almost $128,000. Again, a 58% increase. Now let's look at a $700,000 home, which homes are getting into the high sixes quite often all around town. Same scenario, down payment, which someone's going to need substantial amount of cash for a 20% down payment. The monthly payment, mortgage payment may seem quite low at $2,300, $2,360 versus now getting extremely high at $3,725 per month. Again, a 58% increase. Now one's yearly annual income was at 142,000. Now it's at 223,500, a 58% increase. So how would home prices need to change in order to keep the same affordability at a 3% interest rate? So as you could see, a $400,000 home that we just looked at, the monthly payment on a 3% rate was at $1,350 a month. Now, looking at a 5 and a 7%, the prices would need to drop 20% on a 5% mortgage payment to bring it down to a $13.75 a month payment. Prices on a 5% mortgage need to go down 20%. And on a 7% mortgage payment, where we're at right now, in order to get the same affordability as 3%, the prices would need to come down 35%. That's essentially wiping out all the gains in the real estate market over the last 2 years, just to bring it down to a under $1,400 a month payment. So prices will be coming down. However, the low inventory, because there's not a lot of homes for sale, is keeping the prices relatively high or stable. There are some price drops. It's just not maybe as dramatic as what is needed for the same affordability that we just talked about in the prior slide. So what are buyers going to be doing about it? And I've talked to some real estate agents. I've watched some videos of what buyers agents are planning on doing, and this is their game plan. Here's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be making low ball offers. Buyers will start making low ball offers on multiple homes at a time, perhaps, over a dozen homes until they catch a bite, especially homes that are sitting on the market for 90 days. Looking back at the previous seller's market, sometimes buyers had to go through a dozen offers just to win a bid. And this is now going to be in reverse, where buyers are now going to be throwing out, dozens of low offers just to win their bid. In the next 30 to 90 days, there will start to be some lower comps in your neighborhood. These sellers that are starting to get anxious with the high prices, one or two of them may drastically reduce their price and close at a low price. These comps are now going to be used for your neighborhood, and it really only takes one low comp to bring the whole neighborhood's value down. So be on the lookout for that. As you can see, I was quite blown away with how far home prices need to come down in order to get that same affordability that we had at the 3% interest rates. Do I think we're going to ever see 3% interest rates again? No, maybe 5%. And I think that as these lower comps start to feed in, there will be an opportunity for these buyers to get back on the same page of where they were before. So if there's anything I can do for you or any comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Take care and thanks for your time.